Welcome back to the channel. So I've made a lot of videos criticising various parts of the newer Jurassic movies, but on the run up towards Rebirth, I thought I would spend some time making some videos looking at positive elements of all of those movies, even Dominion, because a lot of people seem to think I just hate everything Jurassic World, and that's really not true. In this video, I'm going to go over what I think is the best scene in each film. And please note that I'll be making a separate video for the dinosaur moment. The original movie is, for most of us, still the best of the Jurassic films. There are so many good character scenes in this movie, but for me the one scene that I think sums up the film, its characters and its messaging is the lunchtime scene. You simply would not get a scene like this in a modern Jurassic movie. Pretty much all our main cast taking a seat around the lunchtime table, each with a different view on what limited information they had already seen of the park. On the one side you have Hammond, the giddy schoolboy eager to show off the park, and his lawyer Gennaro, who's been seeing dollar signs ever since first seeing the Brachiosaurus. On the other side we have Ian Malcolm, who lambasts what Hammond has done, unleashing genetic power without any sort of restraint, like a kid with his dad's gun, to quote Ian. In the middle we have Ellie and Alan, who take the perspective that this is unparalleled territory and who can possibly predict what might happen. In a short, slow and quiet scene full of discussion and conversation, everyone makes good points, engages in the debate, and in this microcosm we have all the important messages of the movie. The fact this scene also comes directly after we hear about the raptor's intelligence adds further importance to the conversation. The film simply would not be as good without this scene, and this sort of character-driven moment is something seriously missing in the newer movies.
Dinosaurs and man, two species separated by 65 million years of evolution, have just been suddenly thrown back into the mix together. How can we possibly have the slightest idea of what to expect?
So this movie has a lot of great scenes in it, many driven by characters, but I think a lot of the best scenes in this movie count as dinosaur scenes. Looking for a scene that doesn't have a dinosaur in it, I eventually fell into the conversations that occur between the survivors as they walk through the rain in the middle of the movie. We have two interesting ongoing conversations. The first between Roland Tembo and Nick Van Owen, our hunter and our environmentalist, talking about Roland's quest to kill the bull Rex. Roland explains his motivations and compares his quest to a climber who climbed Everest without oxygen. It's a shame that the conversation he has with RJ at the start of the movie was cut, as this is part of Roland's arc, trying to find meaning in his life now as he grows older. The second conversation is between Ian and Peter Ludlow. Ludlow doesn't seem to comprehend the danger or how badly things are going, even though people have already died. He seems cold and still bent on proving he can make San Diego work. Ian, meanwhile, explains that his plan is awful and that this whole thing has been a bad idea and that he will be there when he learns it. These two conversations, again from the very strong characters in the plot, get brilliant payoffs in the end. Roland learns that RJ dies to raptors and decides to quit hunting as a result, stating he has had enough time spent in the company of death. Meanwhile, as Ian predicted, Peter is killed by the Rex he removed from the island, having had Ian tell him,
John Hammond.
Jurassic Park 3 is easily one of the weaker entries in the franchise, but it's still full of great moments and I maintain is easily better than either Fallen Kingdom or Dominion. Although again, most of the good scenes here involve dinosaurs. Now at first I was tempted to go with the whole scene that's set inside the incubation labs due to its clear Jurassic Park references and eerie atmosphere, but actually this scene and the resultant raptor attack afterwards comes as a result of some great setup prior to all this. I think one of the best scenes in JP3 is where Alan Grant and Billy are discussing a recent unique development in their field at the very start of the film. Here we watch Billy create a 3D printed recreation of a raptor vocal resonator. The sound of him using it and the resultant effect hearing those raptor noises has on Alan, where you see something flicker across his face, a sense of recognition and unease, highlights that Alan hasn't quite forgotten what has happened on those islands. It also serves as the first part of the movie's quest to make these raptors the best in the franchise. Jurassic Park 3 can in some ways be considered the raptor movie of the franchise. From this resonator scene we hear about further work considering the raptors as highly intelligent, and then as the movie progresses we see this intelligence at work, eventually leading to the end, where Alan has to talk to the raptors through the use of the resonator. This short scene right at the start of the movie sets everything else in motion.
Dinosaurs up close.
Jurassic World. Probably the only film in the sequel trilogy that I think is half passable. It has good moments and scenes for sure, none of them with fucking Chris Pratt, however. For me, I think the best scene of the movie is the montage we see just after the kids arrive, where we follow them around the park and see the place running. For us Jurassic fans, seeing the park actually operating and being successful fulfills the what if idea that those who played Jurassic Park Operation Genesis back in the day had always imagined. It's a nostalgic look at what could have been had Nedry not destroyed Hammond's dream, and the whole thing is played with this great dramatic soundtrack, adding that sense of triumph to the whole thing. Being able to see the whole park working means that the fall of the park does hit a bit harder and provides a sense of tragedy when things inevitably go wrong. It also serves to show us how successful but also how commercialized the whole place became, turning into a crowded theme park, suiting one of the key messages in the movie.
Welcome to the Innovation Centre, where technology meets prehistory. Join us on an exciting journey. 65
Ugh, now this is where it gets difficult. Finding a good scene in the next two films that isn't poisoned by the stupid plot or characters is kind of challenging. For Fallen Kingdom, I've eventually settled on part of the film where our cast returns to the main street of Jurassic World. I settled on this because I think it serves as a nice postscript to the previous movie. There is always something creepy about an empty place that's meant to be full of people, whether it's a shopping centre or a museum or a theme park. We return to this overgrown place, nature already taking over the ruins of Main Street, and there's lots of references to the previous movie remaining scattered around. We see our cast looking upon the devastation with clear mixed thoughts. I think that is a really interesting scene, given we saw the old park in the previous movie abandoned and slowly being taken over by nature, and now we see it again happening to the next generation of park, serving as a nice cyclical metaphor, and it's probably the slowest and most emotional the movie ever gets.
Bad memories.
Dominion is the worst movie so far. of the franchise, and finding a good non-dinosaur scene here that wasn't some stupid action beat or some stupid other thing was pretty difficult. But in the end, I found one scene that I could say I genuinely liked. Seeing Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler back on screen, rekindling their friendship at the start of the movie, was one of the few positive places of this film. Just like in Jurassic Park, and unlike Owen Grady and Claire Dearing, both Alan and Ellie have instant chemistry between each other, and Alan's tent is full of great references and nods to the other films. I also find a pleasing symmetry here. In Jurassic Park 3, Alan had gone to Ellie for help getting off the island. Here, Ellie has come seeking his aid to sneak into Biosyn, calling in that imaginary favour we can assume that he owes her. While this scene, like every other, is a little spoiled by the stupidity of the insect plot, at least the bits between Ellie and Alan here are warm and relatively cute.
Can I get you something in a beer or?
Well, maybe not at 10 a.m., but iced tea or...
Tea, yeah.
So that was the 6 best scenes from the Jurassic movies. Next time I'll be tackling the harder task of finding the best dinosaur scene from the 6 films. Let me know in the comments what you think the best non-dinosaur scene is from all of these films, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get notified of that next video. Until next time, stay safe and goodbye.